Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. Tonight's a special one. Well, I know I say that about all of them, but this one, it's only special because of the holiday. Now, I'm not a really big fan of Valentine's Day, but I know some of you lovely couples are, so hopefully you'll be tuning in as couples tonight. Tonight I'm going to do a kind of tea that I've never tasted before, but I have had pieces of it. I'll explain. Tonight I'm doing a rose flavored tea, and it's pure rose tea. I've never had pure rose tea before. I've always had rose petals in. Hey, Teresa, welcome. I've always had rose petals in tea along accompanied with something else. I've also had rose petal candy, but I've never had straight up rose tea before, and I'm really excited to get this one started. So I'm going to go ahead and get the water going. There we go. And I'm not quite sure how to brew this because they don't have instructions. So I'm going to brew this as a regular herbal tea. I see, and I'm not too sure. Carmen, welcome. Shanna, welcome. I'm not too sure how that would affect the taste, because granted it is an herbal tea, it's not a tea, but then again, it's a rose petal, and I don't know exactly how strong a rose petal is. Yes, I know we've been getting a lot of snow, and I guess this works in my favor because nobody's going out. People are going to be watching the stream tonight. So, hey, their loss is my gain, you know what I'm saying? Greg, welcome. So, like I was saying, I'm gonna brew this as a black tea. I'm gonna do it at 212 degrees, and this time I'm gonna try it unsweetened. I want to start making that a habit. You know, I mean, I know that I have a bit of a sweet tooth, and I tend to sweeten my tea, but to have a true tea tasting, making it sweet is altering the flavor. So I'm going to try to cut the habit. Nicole, welcome. I'm going to try to cut the habit and start brewing my teas natural from here on in. If it needs sugar, I'll add it, but I'm going to try to avoid it. Hey, Ma, welcome. Well, one sweet and one not. I mean, that's gonna be difficult because I usually pre-sweeten the pot. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want to make it a more natural flavor. So tonight I'm doing a rose tea. This is it comes in a little glass jar. This was actually part of a Christmas present from this past season from a friend of mine who I hope she will be joining us later on today. I messaged her before to let her know that I was going. Well, you see, if I pre-sweeten the cup, the sugar will be in the cup when I put the tea in it. So that kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, she's aware of it. She's gonna run a quick errand, and she is supposed to be back. Hey, JJ, Georgie, welcome. You're not chopped liver. You just didn't show up on my feed until just now. So don't worry, I will give you the shout out when I see you. But I'm glad you made it. So without further ado, because I hear my water's about to be done. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. It's actual rose buds. It still has the green leaves on it. I guess I've been touching it a little too much because there's fingerprints all over it, but that's okay. It just means I was intrigued since Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Now this is full of rose buds. As you can see, they're all dried out. They're whole. And I'm expecting a bit of a sweet. Leslie, welcome. I'm expecting a bit of a sweetness to it because usually the buds are sweet, but I'm not sure what exactly it is that it's going to taste like. I don't know how it would compare to just the leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and give a whiff. Ooh, that is a really strong scent. It's basically, what was it? You used to have a vase with the dried roses? Yeah, I remember that. Who knew? I mean, we didn't know any better when we were kids. But it's purely a rose flavor. A true cup of Rosie Lee? Yeah, you said that before. Rosie Lee, I'm assuming, is like the British term, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's just pure rosebuds. So I'm gonna guesstimate, because you can't exactly put a teaspoon of actual rose petals. A little bit more. I like my tea strong, you know. Oh, so that's just... It's got nothing to do with roses specifically. It's just a Rosie Lee. Oh yeah, this is straight up rose. I mean, there's no need to try to there's no rose vodka tonight. Sorry. What are roses good for? Well, they're good for smelling. They're good for planting and growing in your garden. As far as health is concerned, I'm not quite sure. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry to say I didn't get to do too much homework on this. But it's good for your garden. I'll show you guys how much I'm putting in there. It's hard. I don't have much of. There you go. I don't know. Tonight's stream looks a little bit fuzzy. I don't know. It might just be me. But yeah, it looks like. I keep going out of focus. Doggone it. There we go. It's like right in between. Anyway, so you see, it's coming up to about a quarter of the way. I don't know how much it's going to expand. I'm guessing it's not going to expand very much because roses are meant to just absorb water. I don't think it will, but I might be surprised, pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up there we go, fill up the cup. Mickerdoodles, welcome! I'm glad you came, because I was hoping that we would have at least one married couple, happily married. There we go. So I'm going to set this for about 5 minutes. Your tummy issues and packed with vitamin C. I'm assuming that you looked it up, you Googled it, and I'm grateful for that. Sometimes I could use a little bit of help. But yeah, I mean, if it's packed with vitamin C, 'tis the season because colds are going around. So I would totally recommend that. I usually drink Emergency, but I guess this will be adding to the effect. And it's okay, Mickey, don't worry about it. It does smell like roses, surprise, surprise. And I'm assuming it'll also taste like roses. Who knew? But we'll see. I'm sure that there'll be some hints of other flavors, considering that it's the full bud, so you're gonna have like the little green plant. PMS and cramping, that's good to know for you ladies. I don't suffer from such an ailment. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I am caught a tiny bit unprepared as far as like health benefits is concerned and information. This is a brand new tea for me. And granted, I did have the time, but I was otherwise occupied. But that's okay. You know, I mean, you guys will learn as much as I learned tonight. And if I pick up any interesting facts along the way, then so be it, you know? I mean, this is an interactive experience, and we all learn together. Oh, that smells really nice already. Like, I can smell it. It's like it's wafting. It's a very floral scent to it. It's got a lot of like potpourri. Rosebuds are used in potpourri as well as like all these other dried up flowers. But as you know, well, if you've ever had or been around roses, they have a very prevalent scent to it. Like up close, it smells very clean, very pure, and when you put them in it smells exactly like a florist shop. You know, I mean, there's no way around it. It's It's roses. Oh God, my hair is, I don't know what's going on. Like I've been wearing hoods all day and I got this slope. I don't know. I'm just distracted by that for some reason. Anyway, but yeah, it does smell like a florist shop. And, you know, I mean, it's like right now I've also got a lavender and, what was it? I think it's a lavender and jasmine plug-in. And it's actually going really well with that. Generally, it's like I can distinctly smell each, but when you smell them together, you get a nice aroma just all around. So I'm very grateful for that. I don't recall mentioning, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this. My little ducky is telling me that my 5 minutes is up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the rosebuds out. What was that? I wonder if it's beneficial for hair or if you could put it in your hair. Probably. I mean, I wouldn't recommend pouring it on your head while it's hot. Because that might be a little bit... yeah, Shanna helped me pick out the little ducky. I'm going to need to name him. I don't have a name for it yet, but I have a little ducky timer now, and it's about time. Well, literally, it's about time. But yeah, I couldn't help it. My last trip to World Market, it really paid off. Like I finally broke down. I had to choose between the duck and the cow, and I went with the duck because that's the more obnoxious sound. So you get quack, 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 quack. Yeah, I had to do that. It's duck tea! So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the difference. It's still, you know, I'm going to let that drip for a little bit. Because it's still, it's retaining a lot of water. So I'll show you guys in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this out because I have no idea what color it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be red, pink, whatever. But we'll see. Oh, actually, it's clear. Plucky Duck. That is a good name. After Tiny Toons. Going way back. But yeah, this is actually surprising. Like, there's very little color at all. Daft tea. I like that. Alright, I'll show you guys. Yeah, there's very little color to it. Like, it's maybe a little greenish from the leaves, but it's a very pale... Like, you don't see much of a difference between the white outer edge and the color of the actual tea. There's a little bit of a difference, but it's not too heavy. So I'm expecting it to be more, because I mean the only really strong color in that should have been the red, but actually it looks like more like a green tea or a white tea. If you're going to be technical, like white teas are generally more clear and more. It's like they don't, since they're pure, they don't show too much. Trying not to spill anything. There we go. All right, so I think there we go. I think, yeah, it stopped dripping. There you go. Hey, it didn't switch. Switch. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it didn't expand too much. Maybe it went from a quarter to a little bit more, going almost to half. So that's a little bit more of an expansion than I thought I would get. But you know, it's always a nice surprise. Yeah, I'm gonna see what it looks like from the top. So there's not much of a difference in the size, but the texture feels a lot softer. It feels a lot more like a rose. Yeah, it is beautiful. I like the way that it looks. The water kind of, I mean, it's pink with a little bit of brown in it, but I mean, it's hard to, let me see if I can pull one out real quick. It opens up a little bit more. And you can feel it more silky than before. Like there's a textual difference to it. Textural? I don't know. I'm sure it's a word somewhere in some language. But yeah, it feels a lot softer. Even the green leaves have become more. It's more of a life. Yeah, feed me. I do need a flashlight. I just wish there was a way to. You know what? I wonder if I play with the. Should I? I don't know. Should I play with the flash? We'll see. Oh wow! That actually did something. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know how that works. Yeah, the light's not on at the back. I don't know. But let's see if that worked. No, it doesn't. I don't know why. Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, now the light turns on the other side. It works a little bit better, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now it's more vibrant. Jeez, I wish I would have known this sooner. That would improve my overall stream quality for quite a bit. But you can see like the colors are more vibrant now than they were before. It looked, when it was dry, it looked a little brown, but I guess some of the water livened it up and brought these buds back to life. So yeah, that's kind of awesome. Let's switch back to my pretty face. Wow, I wish I would have known this. Like, I look a lot better on this camera now. Or a lot worse, my hair. But anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take my first sip and see where this goes. Thank you. I know it's my pretty face. Or, oh no, you mean the tea. Okay, yeah, this is essentially rose water. I don't know if general rose water you're able to drink like from the drugstore or from the supermarket. I assume so, but I don't know much about it. I think I've heard people cook with it. That's not exactly my forte. But I'm going to go ahead and take my first sip and tell you guys how it tastes. Now that's interesting. Because, I mean, you taste the rose, but it takes like a second or two. It tastes like water at first. If you run out of cologne, maybe I can wear it. Maybe, but I think that I don't know how that'll go with my chemistry. I mean, I have a nice collection of colognes anyway because I hate to stink. But if I ever do run out, yeah, I might just go out, get some rose water and dab it a little bit. Make myself more smell worthy. I just have to figure out. Maybe that's why I'm single. Single on Valentine's Day. Okay. You taste the rose as kind of an after effect. Angel, welcome. So we have two married couples tonight. We have Angel. I don't know. You're probably at work, so your wife isn't around. And we have Mickey, whose husband is probably somewhere in the background. Hi, Lenny. Totally calling you out. I don't know if there's any other couples on here, but welcome both. This is true. It's cheaper to be single on Valentine's Day, but it's not quite as satisfying. I mean, I have had my experiences. Ladies, if you are single, do a Galentine's Day. Lenny says hi. A Galentine's Day, so I guess that's a ladies' day out. I'm assuming. I guess I've never been a part of Galentine's Day because I've never been a lady. So you guys have that secret society thing going. I get that. Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay, so the more like you get the rose taste, but there's a slight hint of like a saltiness to it. I'm assuming that's from the green leaf. Um, it's a very kind of like a sea salt, but it's minor. It's there, but it's minor. Um, I'm assuming that had I sweetened it, it would bring out the rose portion better. Um, but I'm going unsweetened, and maybe that'll be more of a true experience for both me and you guys. Ooh, excuse me. Hope it's not from pesticides. I hope it's not from pesticides too. Mainly because then next week I'll be missing Black Panther and the rest of my life because I be dead. Would honey go good with this? Probably honey and rose, because honey doesn't have much of a. It's not a super sweet sweetener. Especially the one that I have. The one I have is orange blossom. So you get like a little bit of a citrus taste to it. But it's not super sweet. I think it might bring it out just a little bit better. So yeah, why not? I say go for it. So I bring this. There's something interesting I want to point out when drinking this tea, because the scent is so prevalent. It kind of like hits you first in the nose, and as you drink it, it kind of catches up, and that's an interesting sensation. It could start off unsweetened, and then add for the second cup like a teaspoon. Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't have teaspoons of sugar. I usually just do it in the packets. But it's okay. Like I mean, it's not bad that it's unsweetened, and I mean, I think that it's more true to the experience. I mean, generally when you do tea tastings anyway, it's unsweetened. But you're doing it in smaller portions, so it's like, hey, if you want to sweeten it, you can. But if you don't want to, it's just a quick drink, and you're done. On to the next. Since I'm doing this as a full pot, generally I sweeten it just because it's a longer experience. But it also may be a bit of a betrayal. It depends on how serious you guys are about my opinion and about my tasting and what you're supposed to be experiencing. So, even if it is even if it is a bad tasting tea, I think you guys should know. I mean, generally I like all kinds of teas. If I sweeten it, though, that might be the only reason. You rubbed off on me too much. What, to unsweeten it? I mean, yeah, I've had to drink unsweetened tea for many occasions, and I don't mind it. I just prefer it sweetened. But I mean, that's more of a casual drinking for me. But when I'm drinking for you guys, it's I should be more natural with it. So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm not gonna go back and re-review the other ones, because that would take a long time. But going forward, I think that it'll be more beneficial if I did them unsweetened. Especially since the what was it, the white fire chai. That one I sweetened out of habit, and I did miss out on some of that experience. And I mean, honestly, I think that it's good for me as well to not rely on stevia, even though it's calorie free, even though it's better for you, even though it's vegan friendly. I can go more natural. Maybe you should start unsweetened, then try it sweetened. I could do that, but we'll see. You know what? I'm gonna try with a little bit of the honey, just to see how that goes. Ooh, falling over. But I'm using my honey pump. It's still a little stiff because it's cold. What is it? So get this, Pepsi is now selling chai tea. That's kind of awesome. I'm assuming they're selling it iced. I haven't seen any yet, but I'm sure we will. I mean, I don't drink a lot of sodas, not anymore. But I'll keep an eye out. I'm definitely interested in how it'll taste. Haha, high tea, haha. Just kidding. I'm a doofus. Room temperature? What's room temperature? The Pepsi tea? I'm assuming. Okay, so the honey becomes more prevalent on its own. Like it's not enhancing the rose flavor as I was hoping for, but it's kind of like a separate. It's kind of like a separate taste on its own. But it's still nice. I think that the honey kind of smoothed it over a little bit. It makes for a better full-bodied taste, if that makes sense. Like, there was a tea that had 3 different flavors. I don't remember which one it was, but with every sip you got 1, 2, 3, and it was awesome. It's a separate entity. I see what you did there. Also a great movie with Barbara Hershey. I haven't seen that in years. But anyway, yeah, my computer keeps on going to sleep on me. Like, hey, I'm not that boring. If I was, you guys would be the first to know. Now the honey, I think that the honey is bringing out a bit of the floral aspect, but that might just be because it's orange blossom honey. And the orange blossom honey kind of gets, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's from the orange blossom itself, so you don't get, Anna, welcome! So you don't get actual, like, citrus, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not overly citrus, but you do get a little hint of that. I wonder if they could incorporate actual orange juice, or at least orange flavor, into honey. That might be interesting. We'll see. Maybe one day, whenever we reach that level of technology, I'm sure we'll figure something out. But for now, I'm happy with this. I have to say that it's a really smooth, really almost silky tea. And when you hold the rose petal on there, like, you know how it feels very soft and smooth? You get that kind of sheen on your tongue. And it's strange, but in a good way for a tea. I mean, there are some teas that do that. There are some really creamy teas out there. This is definitely one of them. It's soft and silky and floral, and it leaves like a bit of a rose taste in your mouth for some time. Like I still taste it, and it stays with you. And I think that this is the kind of tea that would probably need a palate cleanser. If you don't like, well, I mean, I don't want, if you don't like it, then you don't want to drink too much, but I do. And I like the way that, yeah, it's very pleasant. You get like this, you get like it, you get it over your tongue, but it also like emanates through the mouth, if that makes sense. I think it overtakes your entire mouth with like the scent. Like there's nobody to verify this, but I do believe that my breath smells like roses and honey now. But that's one of those things that we'll have to just take my word for it, because I seriously doubt that you guys will want me to start breathing into the camera. And you can see like the back of my throat. It's just not a pretty picture. It's not very romantic for you Valentine's Day fans. Although what was that? I bet you can use the petals and lavender oil to create a vitamin C antioxidant aging mask. You probably can. As a matter of fact, if you know how to incorporate that onto masks, I would suggest that you try it and you let us know, because we do have the tea forum now, the tea room. So if you do tend to do that, go ahead and let us know how that comes out, because I'm actually kind of curious. I love the taste of lavender, and lavender tea smells amazing. It's great for your nerves. I'm assuming that rose tea is good for the nerves as well. Anything that's fragrant tends to have a calming effect, and it's good for like headaches and tension and stuff like that. So yeah, go ahead, try it out. See if you can make that, and if it's a success, let us know. And if you decide to go into business and make it on the regular, then you can start selling it on the page. I won't stop you. Only because you're my sister. You get the preferential treatment. And speaking of married couples, where's Izzy? Is he there? Because then that would mean that you guys are the third married couple. I never know if Izzy's there because he's like always so quiet. Make the tea, then put it on your face or body. That I could probably do as I would need a whole lot more tea, but I'm sure like it would be like a good body scrub. Or I mean, I don't know what else you could do with it. Izzy's coming home from work. Okay, so when he gets here, you guys will be the third married couple in attendance on my special Valentine's Day, informal Valentine's Day, because, I mean, it's not, whatever. It's funny how you have, like, so many people who are single and don't like Valentine's Day, and then you have, like, a bunch of people who are married and or dating, and they just, like, they don't care about Valentine's Day either, and I'm like, good for you. You can join us all in our misery. All of us single people, unite. Then we won't be so single anymore. Like what was that song from Sting? Message in a Bottle. I think that should be like our theme for tonight. The Message in a Bottle. Anyway. So you guys have any... Hey, Izzy, welcome! I don't know if he can hear me yet. He's probably, like, got his keys in the door still. But, yeah, just let him know I said welcome when he gets here. Showing a little bit of cleavage there. Yeah, right. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. It's too much of a Hallmark holiday. I agree. I mean, you know, they rely so much on celebratory. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a Hallmark holiday. Lemmy told me he doesn't need a holiday to tell me he loves me. He's so disgustingly cute. Food. Oh, you have. Oh, have a good one. You have a good one too. Enjoy the rest of your day at work. Food. I assume what food it'll pair well with. This one's a hard one because it's not something that I would actually serve with anything. I think it stands well alone. If I were to serve it with something, I don't think I would serve it with a dessert. I think that this would probably go well with maybe a pasta. Something light. Maybe fettuccine Alfredo. That might work. Or if I'm going to go with ramen. Ramen might be a good idea. Like, maybe like a chicken broth kind of deal. Nothing too heavy. Because they'll all clash together and you'll miss it. So I would say either chicken broth, chicken soup, ramen, pasta. As far as dessert, I mean, I guess they do have the rose candy that you can pair it with, but I think that's kind of playing it cheap. Is it helping my nose? No. This is not that kind of a tea. I mean, I haven't had any. You too. Have a good night. Thanks. Strawberry wafers. Yeah, that might go good with it. As far as nasal congestion and stuff like that, no, it's not really that kind of a tea. I'm getting a little bit stuffed now that I mention it. I think it's just because I'm leaning back and everything is starting to hit up here. But yeah, it's not really giving me that kind of a sensation. Now, as it cools, that's strange. Like, as it cools, normally you're supposed to taste the flavors better because the heat dulls the senses. But I'm not getting that. Like, I think that as it cools, the water is starting to overtake the flour a bit. So it's. I think that it, like as it cools, it loses the flavor a little bit. I'm getting more of the honey now than before. I would suggest drinking it hot because now that it's cooling off, it's kind of like you're kind of getting like a rose water taste to it, not a rose tea, if that makes any sense. Let me see, because it looks like I'm mostly done with this. So I'm debating if I should drink it all and get rid of the honey that's already in there and go back to it unsweetened. But I mean, honestly, since I already did it sweet, might as well dive right in, you know? Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, top myself off. And there we go. Oh, I'm dripping all over my hand. Oh. Yeah, gonna wipe that off. I guess I tilted a little bit too much. Yeah, I dripped. This is why I can't have nice things. It's all my fault. Oh, okay, there we go. Like the smell is back. Dirty. I know you have a dirty mind. I don't know where exactly it's going with it, but well, I can imagine. I am a bad influence. I have done you wrong. Now, that's interesting. Like, I'm getting a bit of, like, it feels a little bit dry in the back of my throat. I think that might be because I'm either talking too much, or maybe it's like that silk sheen taste I get is now coating the back of my throat. I think it's because I'm talking too much and the air is dry. That might be it. Yeah, that's probably it. I hope I'm not coming down with anything. God, I hated that. Last time I had a cold, it took me 2 months to get rid of that cough. Who wants to do that? Then I'll have to like find all the tea that I can and start to fight that thing from the get-go. All right, so you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want to talk about as I drink my tea? I'm opening up the floor to you guys. You guys can have a blast as usual. I'm actually kind of missing Ralph and his and his yelling tea bags, because that is always fun. Him being yet another married couple. Well, with somebody else. He's actually got somebody. So, that would have been, what, married couple number 4? Oh, my throat's a little bit... starting to get a little sore there. Michelle, welcome, welcome. Glad you could make it. Tonight I'm doing a rose flavored tea. So I don't know if you have any particular interest in rose, but since it's Valentine's Day, I know that you are very much in love with your husband. So tonight's the night to watch. How about chocolate with the tea? Chocolate and roses. That's more of a gift. If I were to pair it with chocolate, I would either do milk or white chocolate. Something that's not too overpowering. I think dark chocolate might take away from the rose taste to it. It might... I don't know, because depending on the level of dark, because I know that dark chocolate has like multiple chocolate to bitter ratio. I would go with a milk chocolate more, only because I'm not a big fan of white chocolate. White chocolate to me tastes too milky. You don't get enough of the chocolate to it, but definitely it would be better than dark chocolate. Ooh, I have the hiccups. And that's another thing. Like, I've found around here, people tend to prefer dark chocolate. Who knew? I don't know. I mean, dark chocolate is supposed to be better for you, but I don't know. I just don't see the appeal. Give me the milk. Give me the sugar. I'm good. Have a little bit more. Oh, I see that number keeps popping up. Ew, what? Ew, you're not a fan of the dark chocolate? I'm assuming. That number keeps popping up. Like, I see people coming in, but it's not telling me who it is. It kind of leaves a mystery there. Milk with this tea. No. Milk. To me, I think that the milk... Tracy, welcome! I think that the milk might actually do it a disservice. if you taste the milk with the flour, it would probably get like this kind of soapy aftertaste. Because when you have floral teas, anything dairy it'll enhance that a little too much. So I tend to stay away from milk and cream with floral teas, and stick with like the herbal, with the fruit, at least as far as nothing citrus. With the citrus fruits, they tend to curdle the milk. But anything else, like you have the apples, you have berries won't have that same taste to it. It won't have that same effect on the cream, but it's good. It's good stuff. Would I use it in a blend? Yes. I mean, people use rose in teas all the time, and like I said before, like I've had rose petals in different teas before, but I've never had just plain old rose tea. I would do it as more of a probably rose with a white tea. That way, neither of them are like really fighting for attention. Rose and a black tea would be a little bit risky, only because the black flavor would be overpowering, and then you would get that same effect. Like I personally, when I blend a black tea, I blend it with other strong, powerful and prevalent flavors. That way, nothing gets lost. But if you were to blend it with rose, you would have to put in a lot of rose for it to become prevalent. I do think that if you were to successfully do that, it would probably be really, really good. But it was just, I would have to sit there and play with the ratios a little bit just to see. Even rose with a green tea, since it depends. Well, I'll show you guys. It won't open. I can't do it with this one hand. Bear with me 1 second. It's just not coming out. There we go. The rose petals, this part here, it's a little bit stronger than I thought it would be when you drink the tea. So it's got like that little saltiness, and that might blend well with a green tea. So yeah, I would use it in a blend, and probably pair it with like a fruit of some sort. I don't think that if I were to spice it up, like a rose chai, that might ruin the experience, because you'll have two flavors that are just like the spice will overpower it easily. I would probably use it with maybe rose and lavender. Might be nice. With a maybe spearmint. I don't know. I'd have to sit and really think about it. That might be something that I'll play with one day. Now that it's cooling off again, I'm getting more of the rose in the back of my throat. Like on that swallow, you get the backwash of the rose, but like at the front of my mouth, it's a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Like at the front of my mouth, it's a little bit watery, I guess. But as it washes, you get more of the rose flavor coming out. So I think that it's a good tea to analyze as you drink it, because there's a lot of black tea. What about black tea? Are you asking me if it is a black tea or if it would combine with a black tea? I don't know. I'll let you elaborate. But like I was saying, the it's a great tea to analyze, like to sit there, to drink, to contemplate it, to actually study it while it's in your mouth. If is it a black tea? No, it's an herbal tea. I brewed it like it was a black tea, 5 minutes at 212 degrees, and I didn't oversteep it because it still has that full on rose taste. It doesn't have a bitter aftertaste, which usually happens for oversteeping. I don't know if that would work. Like if I were to steep an herbal tea, I would steep it for an hour and not have any problems. But if I were to do it to this, I have no idea how long it would last. I might do that as an experiment one day. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't think that it would taste good as an iced tea though. I mean, as it stands, while it cools, you start to lose a little bit of the flavor, and you get more of the water. Do I think a longer, slightly lower temperature would change the taste? Probably, because as I said that as it cools, you lose some of it. I think that maybe if I steeped it at a lower temperature for a longer time, it might come out more. It might come out more milky. But if I were to do it longer as a really hot flavor, as a really hot temperature, I think that might just pull out more of the rose taste to it. I wish that this had more instructions. Yeah, it says do it for 2 to 3 minutes. I did it for 5. I think that this is more geared towards a what's the word I'm looking for? It's more geared towards a lighter flavor, but I like my tea strong. So yeah, I think that that if you're looking for a more delicate, more rose water taste, then that would be fine. But that's just not my preference. So I have about half a cup left. If you guys want to throw something at me, go right ahead. Now the honey is coming out a lot stronger. Like I can smell it when I come here, and that's a little odd. Normally, but I mean, I guess that it might be odd, but it's a testament to the delicacy of the rose petals, because when you drink it, it's not a very powerful taste at all. You can certainly taste it. The smell is prevalent, but as it cools, you kind of lose the effect, or maybe just the more you drink, the more you get used to the flavor, and as it stays on your tongue, the sensation is not. It's not a new sensation, you know? Like you kind of get used to it there because you smell it, you taste it, and it's ever present. So maybe it's just me, but I might just be getting used to the flavor and the taste and stuff like that, rather than losing the sensation. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm just theorizing here. Like maybe I'm saying that it's not a strong flavor or that it's losing it as it cools because I'm already used to it. Like you know how when you put on cologne or perfume and after a little while you don't smell it anymore? But you put on a new one and suddenly you smell that one all day? I think this is the same kind of effect where once you get used to it, you don't realize it's there unless you're looking for it. I think that's kind of what I'm experiencing rather than it being losing its taste, or rather losing its strength. I don't know. That's something that I'll have to consider. Maybe if I had some help, somebody could drink this with me, and we can get to the bottom of this. Well, I'll see if I'm just used to it. Well, it's 8:58, so I don't think my friend is gonna be able to make it. She's Jamie. I want to thank you on here. Whether you make it tonight or not, whether you catch it on YouTube, thank you for sharing this with me for Christmas. I also have a bulb. I don't know what flavor it is, but this is a display tea. Unfortunately, I've already done a display tea, and I don't have a display pot. But it looks like this. Just the bulb. It doesn't come with the actual candle. I don't know what kind of flavor it is. Most of it is in I don't know what language it is, but it just says it's a kind of green tea with materials. And it doesn't say that it's an actual flavor. So I'm assuming it's just a general green tea. But yeah, unfortunately, that's one that I'm not going to be able to do on a stream because I don't have a display pot. And generally, when I do a display tea for myself, I do it in my mug, and it's like a really nice bouquet usually. But yeah, anyway, back to the original one. Thank you, Jamie, for the Christmas present. This was very, very nice, very delicious. I appreciate that. And I will give you the link to this so you can see this later. So I'm predicting it now. Ooh, kind of choked there. So you guys have any questions, any comments, anything you want to throw at me, feel free. I'm at the end of my, I think I have a good 3-4 sips. We'll see. Or I can chug it all down in one shot. You guys would love to see that. Be like, glug, glug, glug. Ah, I'm choking. Although it would be a fitting end. He's like, he died doing what he's loved on Valentine's Day. Ah. I'd be like the guy who drowns himself on Facebook. Yeah, that would definitely not go unremembered. Just the horror on everybody's faces. Anyway, I'm down to the end of it. So you guys have any comments, any questions, anything? I'm surprised everybody's gotten so quiet all of a sudden. It's all good. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Oh, Carmen, a reaction. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Next week, I will not be able to stream. I'm going to watch Black Panther. You guys know I'm excited to see that. So the following week, I'm still debating. I have a few things on deck. I'm going to show you right now what my literal tea bag looks like. Yeah, it's kind of overflowing there. So this is a lot to go through. It's not going to be everything, of course, because some of it's already open, some of it I've already done. But there's a good amount of tea for me to go through. So I think that I'm going to have to be absent from Adagio for a while until I catch up. In the meantime, though, I still have the Bella Luna Blue that I want to do. You know what? That's a good idea. I'll pick a couple of them, and I'll do a poll. We'll see what you guys want to see, and we'll see where it goes. You guys can pick the next couple of them. We'll do it that way. That was a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up now that I'm down to like one, well, actually half a sip. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you guys for joining me. It was another wonderful experience, and I hope to see you guys. Good night, Ma. I'll see you. I'll see you later. But everyone else, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and we will discover together which blend you guys want me to do. Okay? Have a good night. And that's awkward because it's not